Hello, friends. Second to last day of 30 inks, 30 days. So that means it's day 29. And I have the very last paper snippet in here. If you remember, or if you don't, I took out one paper snippet, which is Soda Light Kiss Lap, because it looked really weird and I wasn't sure if it was good or not. And so I didn't want to risk putting it in a pen. So the very last paper snippet is this one, which is Pennonia Patina. And then I put in KWC Honey as a replacement for Soda Light Kiss Lap, which would then be the very last ink for tomorrow. Spoiler alert, tomorrow's ink is... I'm not telling. I already said it like 3 times. So, from the swatches, I remember that this is a very light ink. The fountain pens that I have left are my... So I have my Lamis, and I was considering maybe using, I think the broad nib is still on here, yes. I was considering maybe using this. I was hoping to use this or this, but this is a medium fine, and I'm not sure that I will be happy with this ink in this pen with a medium fine nib. I'm afraid that it will be too light and that I'm, again, super unhappy with the experience. So I'm gravitating towards the Lamy, but I don't know if the ink is the ink dry. Do we know that? I don't. Have you used Pennonia Patina? Is it a dry ink? I'm just going to try this and we will see. I also like the color play here. Not that I don't really care if inks match, but I feel like this is a dark and a light similar color scheme. This could work really nicely together. And then I'm gonna put these away and we'll see what happens tomorrow. But first, let the swatching begin. I'm going to put this sticker, it's upside down, this sticker right here, but only after I have finished this page. And because I'm using an old Hobonichi A6, and I'm just using the days of one specific month, which happens to be February, I'm moving into March, and that's why there is this divider page. If I'll ever in the future, besides November 2023, but I'm not going to do 30 inks 30 days in this format in November, so I'm not concerned. But if I am ever going to do this again, then I can do it in the actual month and I have exactly the amount of days that I need. That would be so cool, wouldn't it? So let's turn the page and stop rambling. If you couldn't tell, I have been filming for quite a while today and I'm really silly now. And I also cut my hair. What is this? Not cool. It seems like the ink didn't wash out that I used before yesterday or some other time. But now it's clean. The way that I figure that out is I dip it in the water and then I just go where can you see? Right here. So there's clear water going into the rag, and this is how dry I make it. It's like it's damp, but there's no actual water in the paintbrush left. I mean, yes, there is a little bit of water coating the bristles, but it's not dripping wet. Okay, let's figure out how this works. You know what I'm really tempted to do? I love Rosa Mexicana. Rosa Mexicana. Is it Rosa Mexicano? Rosa Mexicano by Amarillo Stationery. And Eric just came out with, he says, his last ink in this set, Amarillo Antiguo. I really, so do you, it's not conjugate, it's declinate. Is that the word? In German we say deklinieren. That's Latin. So you conjugate verbs and you decline. No, decline is not the right word. Deklinieren, nouns. Nouns. And so I'm wondering if you, why is Amarillo Antiguo, is Antiguo not a city? So do you declinate cities as well? Just wondering. I could research, just not. This is greener than I thought it was. I'm not going to put this brush into my mouth. I'm going to pull out my library. That's one of the reasons why I like swatching pretty close to the time that I receive the ink. No, this is way too early. I don't think I put it in here. It must be in here. But I swatched it very late. Did I tell you about the swatch book that I'm starting? I can't wait. Crystal Marine. Nope. Nope. There. Oh, okay. I don't know what I was expecting. Not this, but I'm curious to see how it works in my fountain pen. It might not be the most exciting thing, but we'll see. Oh, I still need to color this. What was I talking about? Do you remember? The ink journal. Oh yeah, I'm tempted to buy his set of inks, but the only Pennonia ink that I own is a special ink, the Cheerio Water Buzz that was made in collaboration with Mike from Ink Dependence, and that is an ink that is pigmented. It's like a shimmer ink, but it's not. The ink is not, the shimmer is not shimmer, it's actually pigment. And so I haven't really experienced any Pennonia inks that are just basic colors, besides the light inks that my friend Amy always gives me, and that I'm not, well, I like having them and trying them, but you know that look at the shading, or the chromo, whatever this is. This looks really nice. So I have used light inks, but I have never used any saturated inks. And so, because there is no possibility to buy just samples of his inks, I'm tempted to buy just the whole 3 set. But the last time I purchased a set of inks, which was the Cozy Comforts by Endless Stationery and Robert Oster, I actually didn't really like the shades of most of the inks, which was a bummer. So let's see how this is going to work. This is, well, definitely better Oh, Pennonia. Pennonia Patina. And this is Lamy All. I always confuse the names. Is it the Lamy All Star? Yes. And the other one is the Kaweco AL Sport Star. Petrol. Where was I? Yes, the Cozy Comforts. So I don't really care for both of the shimmer inks. The red one, which is Old Book Smell, is okay, but I have seen better ones. What was the other one? The green one, Tea Time, that I really like because, I always like those olive greens. And then what else do I have left? There was another one. I have it right here. I can show you. And that's totally off topic. Here. So, Old Book Smell. Yes, it's nice, but I have other dark reds that are much nicer. Campfire Crackle is this shimmer orange. It's okay. Stargazing is the shimmer ink that I don't particularly like at all. Tea Time I really like. Soft Kitty, Warm Kitty I really like. But the Coffee Date is also a brown ink that I don't particularly care for. And so I purchased those as a set and was stuck with full bottles of inks that I wouldn't necessarily have purchased if I had samples of. So that's I actually filled my cart like 4 times already. And then I deleted it again. So that's why I haven't made the purchase. So I will see you later. I'm going to transcribe. Bye. Let's just hope that these guys do not make that much noise or you cannot hear it. Would be too cool too. So it's a couple days later and I've written with this and I am going to read you what I wrote because that basically sums it up. Finally, a light ink that is wet. That's amazing in itself, but it doesn't deter from the fact that it's light, and I don't particularly care so much for light inks. The pen is great and writes smoothly on both papers. I'm glad I finally gave this a try, but unfortunately I'm not convinced. Yeah, that's about all I have to say about this pen and ink combination. I know now why I was so hesitant to put this ink into a pen for a month. I'm glad I tried it so that I can now say, okay, this is not for me. Let's pass it on to someone who will use it and enjoy it. And there's that. So I am actually done transcribing the article. I was done here. So I then added the most banned book list of fall 2022. And I have a question about one of those, just in case you're like, it doesn't make sense to me that A Court of Mist and Fury, which is, if I'm not misinformed, I have read the whole Court of Thorns and Roses series, the second book in this series, and in my personal opinion, the second book, there's sex in all 4. I don't know. Are there more books now? I read 1, 2, and 3, and I think I read 4, and then I stopped. There's sex in all of the books. A lot of it. Very detailed. Which might be okay. See, that's okay. Let me finish this thought and then I'll tell you about the other thought that I have. this is the sequel to a novel that is basically the same thing, just a little bit different. Why is that not on the most banned book list of 2022? Like, why is the first one not banned? And in my personal opinion, this one is better for the reason, if the reason why this book is banned is because of the very explicit romance that is described in the book. The first book is a really harmful, it's not a good relationship. This one here, in the second and third books, they are much better in the sense of an actual relationship where the voice of the partners, both partners, counts equally, and the one person respects the other's wishes. Whereas in the first book, that was not the case. And so I'm wondering why the first book is not banned when the second one is. And what was the other thought that I was going to talk about? Yes. The other thought was, this book is banned maybe in middle schools. I read those books and I'm not sure, because it's so detailed, and because, I wish I had that sax on a regular basis. Like, I have two things that I think is like, why do teenagers have to read such detailed narratives of intercourse? And the other one is, this is not how everyday things happen. Yeah. So I'm confused, and everybody on Instagram that I see who reads these books and says they are some of their favorite books. But then you're not letting your kids read those, maybe because you know what's in there. But that doesn't make sense to me. You read the book. Talk to your children about it. Talk to them that this is fiction. Okay, I'm done. Goodbye.